Yeah, nigga.
Were you involved with the One Nation sessions?
The One Nation, Thug Nation, yeah. It might have been a little later.
Yeah, that was probably around in June of '96.
Me and another guy named Tommy D were doing a lot of stuff with him. I remember, when we were working on the Machiavelli album, Tommy D started doing a lot of stuff too, so he might have done some of that. I might have done some of it. I can't remember. I really can't. We were doing a whole lot of stuff back then.
Okay, because the One Nation sessions were supposed to be like an album that was supposed to come out in '97, and I guess it never really got finished.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. We did so many songs. He would come in, he'd have ideas to do songs. So he'd come in, he'd do like 2 songs, 3 songs in a day, and he would just like knock them out. A lot of times, the same way when I was working with Prince, he would do a lot of songs, and he didn't know what he was going to do with them when he first was doing the songs. He just made the songs, and then once he had them, he could figure out exactly what he was going to do with them then, So, with all this release stuff and everything, we were knocking out songs. I had copies of them. It wasn't like I was taking home copies. Death Row was real strict with not releasing any kind of copies out of the studio because they didn't want anything leaked, So, it's not like I had copies of these albums. I didn't know how, it was. We would put together albums. And, there was many, many albums that never came out. We finished Rage's album. We finished Jewel's album. We finished Danny Boy's album. This group B, Reveal's album. We did OFTV's album. I think they might have come out. We were doing so many albums, and we were just doing so many songs after songs after songs. After we would compile them, I really didn't know what they were going to be using them for. So I really can't be honestly telling you, that's what this was for, that's what that was for, Okay.
On several songs and interviews, Tupac talked about Machiavelli Records. Were you supposed to be a part of that, or do you know anything about it?
No, I really don't. He was talking about a whole lot of stuff back then. He had plenty of ideas. I'm sure he would have made them all work. I bet he would have done the Machiavelli album label, all of that, but, like I said, man, I was really stuck in the studio. I'd see stuff here and there. I'd hear stuff on the radio, but, as far as, if we weren't in the studio, and I wasn't at their press conferences and this and that, sometimes I'd catch them, but they didn't even have the internet like they do now, so it wasn't like you were seeing everything.
You really didn't have a close relationship with him, or was it just strictly, like, professional?
It was pretty much strictly business, It's not like I am with Snoop. Snoop, I got a real personal relationship with him. We're real good friends. We ride the same bus together when we go on tour. We play video games. We hang out, I go to his house, I know his wife, it's a different type of thing, We're real good friends as well as a working relationship, But with Pac, it was straight business, It wasn't like we were real cool. We had a lot of fun in the studio. Everybody was joking around a lot, We did a lot of, everybody was bagging on each other and this and that, But basically, I was there to get the work done, I was real focused on getting these albums completed and sounding great, And that's really where we were at, I didn't really go hang out with Pac like that. I didn't go outside the studio really see Pac, maybe at a Death Row party, maybe at one of his shows, this or that, we'd see each other, this or that, say what's up, But it wasn't like, we were just kicking it the same way as Snoop and I kick it, It's just a different type of thing, we kept it real business,
How would you describe your relationship with Johnny J?
Well, with Johnny J, like I said, they were using a couple different engineers, and they just didn't like what they were getting from people. They didn't like the mixes. They didn't like the pace of the session. They couldn't keep up with Pac. They were always screwing up something. It was like, wow. When they asked me to go in there and work with them, I think, and I can't remember what the first song I worked with Johnny J on was, but we went in and. When I went into the studio with Pac that first day, it was just Pac and Johnny J in the studio. And we just went in it was actually at nighttime. We went in that night and I recorded some vocals for him. And like I said, we just all hit it off right away. Johnny J could tell I'm a pro. I could trust his ears and know that he knew what he was saying and what he was doing, and that makes a big difference in the studio. You know what I mean? You got to know that you can trust the other person to get what you're looking for, and that they're saying the right thing. You know, because if they're saying, if you don't see things eye to eye in the studio clearly, you know, it's just not going to work as well at all. You know, like Johnny J, he loved everything I did. I loved his beat. I thought he was real creative with what he did. You know, it was simple but effective. And, yeah, we just had a great time with that. You know, that's how I met Johnny J. Just going in the studio and work with him that night, that first night. That's what I was telling you I loved about the whole Death Row experience, was that it was like they were always putting me in positions with other people that were really great people, you know? Putting me with Ice Cube, putting me with Dr. Dre, putting me with, you know, Snoop Dogg, putting me with these, you know, different iconic artists, Rage, and different people. But even outside our camp, you know, we did some stuff with El DeBarge and you know, we did stuff with Roger Troutman. You know, we got to do stuff with, like, different people when they were just putting me with these people. That's what the beauty of the whole thing was, you know.
So, inside Death Row wasn't really as dangerous as they say? A lot of people say that inside Death Row is really a dangerous environment. Do you disagree with that? It
was a lot of different feelings in that environment, you know what I mean? At that time, I was keeping to myself, so, yeah, it was a real harsh environment. You know, people got tested a lot. There was people that didn't pass those tests, you know what I mean? But to me, I mean, all anybody over there wanted was to get their stuff done right, you know, and they just wanted you to do your job right, and then they wouldn't have a problem, you know. So I kept to myself. I did my job right in the beginning, you know, until I got comfortable with everyone, you know, and then I didn't get overly comfortable with people. It seemed to really help, you know. I mind my own business. I saw a whole lot go down over there, but, you know, you just keep to yourself. You just, you know, mind your business. You do your thing, what you're there to do, and, you know, you don't get in any problems, you know. I never had any problems with anybody over there, but, you know, I know a lot of people that did. It was a real crazy environment at times, but, you know, it was no different than what I really grew up with. You know, I grew up in a hard area in New Jersey, and, you know, to me it was really no different than what I always experienced, you know. So that's why I think I fit in so well over there and never really had any problems, you know. I knew how to get along with people and yet stand my own ground, yet, you know, not really cause conflict or friction. You know, and it seemed like that was the best way to get through that whole ordeal, you know. But there was a whole lot of funny stories, you know, of different people that didn't, and it was crazy, you know, including, like, the dogs that didn't even like the people when they get bit, you know. It was like everything was funny over there. So I just saw it as, like, a real opportunity and more a comedy than really, like, you know, adversity, you know. It would just make me laugh, all this stuff that go down, you know.
Is there any stories that you actually recall?
I mean, there's so many stories, you know. There was, like, the time that the assistant engineer, they couldn't find a tape of his, you know, and then finally when he found the tape, he put it up, you know, and I think, you know, Tupac might have even hit him, you know. He was so just mad, but he was clowning at the same time, and that's what was so funny. It was like Tupac was, even when he would get mad, he would bag on you so hard, he would just keep making people laugh around you, you know. So it was like, it was crazy, you know. That's the funny part about it all, you know. Or when, like, there would be a dog in the studio, and I remember this other assistant engineer got bit in the leg because he, you know, because the dog, he pissed on the floor, and, you know, when the artist came in and he said, like, which one did it? Because there was two dogs, you know, and he pointed at him. He said, that one. As soon as he pointed, that dog just locked on his leg. And, you know, there was always pit bulls over there. There was always people getting... There was a few people that got beat up, got, you know, this and that, you know. There was a lot of crazy stuff that would go down, but, you know, it was just fun and games to me, you know. I'd see it all like, damn, I could look back and laugh at all this stuff, you know.